and we activate the retro engines and pull away from the spaceport. We are idling out into the great void and pointing our front of our ship towards the nearest star.
The nearest star. To the nearest, largest star. Dude, it sounded like right as soon as the music hit it, someone did a line. Just like.
No, no. It was we definitely got distracted in the smoking lounge upon at the spaceport. Get a little extra blaze at the for the evening's festivities. Basically operating at about 60,000 feet above normal operating procedures and potentials. How do you explain to someone who doesn't really get high what getting high is? What do you tell them?
Yeah, oh, that's a great fucking.
What do you describe it as? Because it's different early on, as it is when you age within the
Well,
cannabinoid
because they don't
family
really
tree.
want to know.
They don't really want to know because they would just go find out at this point.
Yeah, they would just go find out.
Maybe
and
they're
too
afraid.
busy looking down their nose at you. Yeah, they are.
But they
afraid.
got, but
They're
dude,
afraid of
if they knew about the
themselves on-
grandeur, the heaven on
Yeah.
earth, the sweet, sweet Jane, and
They're
it really
afraid of
kicks
the
the
level
shit out of all.
discipline that they would have to impose on
know.
themselves to enjoy it and
I
still
know.
do what they need to do.
That's right. You can. You're 1,000% right. It is an art
And
to
meanwhile,
surf
they'll
the
just
waves
look down their nose at you as you try to as you enjoy
as they
your
drink their
marijuana.
whiskey and fall
Yep.
off their Barca lounger.
Yes, exactly. Make a fool.
throw a glass at the TV because Johnny Carson's there saying something, and yeah, man. No, it's. I feel really lucky to have grown up in the Canna Boom in Colorado for the last since 20. We voted on it in 2012 and enacted it in 2014. It has been remarkable to watch the pressure come off of our local society as people understand and acknowledge what it is and isn't, to feel the whatchamacallits, preconceptions and prejudices fall away in relation to what it actually does and is and how it works. And you're 1,000% right. You got to get rock solid in the Lord in terms of your discipline. Otherwise, Colorado's super potent weed will take you down.
Take you down.
Take you down.
Take you down.
And I don't mean it. I shouldn't even say it like that. I think people overdo it, is what I have heard. There is people do
totally.
too much at once and like get into a complete overdose situation. It's like, dude, that would be uncomfortable at any time in your first 5 years.
Right.
I'm Officer 424. But there's so many states that haven't even legalized it yet. And even when I talk to people who are in other states that have done it more recently, there's usually an insane underground that is just hanging in there, which will for probably years until all those people convert those cannabis messenger jobs. I mean, New York didn't really legalize it, did they? They're still not really legal, are they? They just don't care.
Yeah, I don't think
They're
they're
selectively
legal.
enforced. Yeah, you can't I don't think they're legal. I bet it's like everywhere. It's just, what's the right way to say it? I really love living in a regulated market. It is next level. And it's nice. Quality is out of control. Prices are right.
Prices are right. It's like amazing what prices are better and always have better quality for price.
That human player was the first one through the door. I timed my grenade perfectly. Dropped him. Saw the look on his Wookiee face.
Poor boy.
As he was completely pwned. Pwned, I tell you! There is quite the contingent over having a heyday over on A. Sorry, Sir Wilcott, I am shooting the shit out of you.
Alright, I can't feel it.
Yeah, probably jinx up your aim, I would guess. Got one with a grenade. There we go. They're coming in the left in my intuition mindset in 3, 2, 1. Here they come. Whoopsh. Oh. Delay by 1. Delay by 2. Delay by 3. Delay by 4. Where are these people? Did they give up? Do we beat them? Did the psyops work? Did they not show up for work? Did they give us their country that we no one had to fight for it? They just propagandized
They're themselves.
their youth into submission.
Yeah.
Their fighting age youth.
Their ruling population gave them stuff
Can you imagine the propaganda that they must roll out?
for a paycheck.
Like, this looks like an analog ship, though. If they had AI, I don't think I'd see so many rivets. They just 3D print a smooth surface. It wouldn't be a sub-assembly. They'd just be 3D printing Death Stars, you know? Really?
Seems like
That's the way to do it. When you get it, just like scale them up.
it seems like at a certain scale it would be way easier to just print.
Yeah, I mean, the subcontractors in the rivet game on this Star Destroyer are killing it. There are rivets everywhere. The economics of the fantasy we find ourselves in. It's next level. I watched a very interesting movie last night. I was a little under the weather and couldn't sleep. And I watched the 1979 Disney classic Black Hole. That was wild. They were in space. It's quite psychedelic. And it was a Disney film, which was wild. 1979. They're grappling with the themes of God. They talk a lot about God and how they're going to know God's mind once they get to the other side of this black hole somehow. They also were talking about the science of the time, 1978, when it was theorized that black holes would absorb all energy and all light and matter in the universe would just eventually fall into these infinite holes. And in fact, that is what the deceased, not Stephen King, what was his name?
Stephen Hawking.
Thank you, Stephen Hawking. Nailed it. That guy, when I was in high school, was still peddling his book, A Brief History of Time, before it was corrected, that said that black holes had the same theory. And they ultimately discovered that black holes actually leak energy. They're warm. They make a heat, and that is all the energy that they're absorbing. So it's a digestion process. Like mushrooms. Mushrooms roll up and they turn all the atoms back into carbon, oxygen, and nitrogen. They break it all down. That's what a fungi network does. It dissolves the matter.
No period.
Totally lost my thread.
Black holes.
Black hole, thank you.
Movie.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, Stephen Hawking was so wrong about that when they actually discovered that shit, they called it Hawking radiation. Yeah, totally. But Hawking radiation is the heat that is the warmth from a black hole.
And that's how he was wrong. He missed Hawking radiation.
He had theories, but he was just, and it's okay to have theories.
Yeah,
Hell,
you totally
I learned about. I mean, these people talking about black holes is the reason why they even, we haven't reached out and touched one or anything like that, but we've observed them. We know that they're real, and at first they were thoughts and ideas in people's minds. You ever see Cosmos season 1 with or season 2 with Neil deGrasse Tyson? The first one they remade in the last couple years.
I don't know. I don't think so.
The original one was Carl Sagan, and Carl Sagan was a famous stoner who worked at NASA, blazing up every day at NASA. They'd go on breaks, they'd get high, and they would plan things like the Voyager mission, which launched in 1975. Anyway, he and his wife considered cannabis to be a holy sacrament and partook every night. But many times while he was at NASA, if you see him kind of a little light eyelided when he is filmed and discussing various situations, that dude is lit and is high. And his protege is Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil of the Grass Tyson. Even though this is completely unacknowledged, I've never heard Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about cannabis, not once, except in a dumb way. He never seems to really... maybe he's a secret stoner. I doubt it.
He doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it. Which is weird, because his mentor was a major cool stoner who literally had the idea to send the Voyager space probe, which turns out to be the object, the matter, that humanity has sent the farthest away from its birth home. It's literally our calling card to the rest of the universe. If a larger, wiser, technologically advanced civilization just scooped up all the data in our solar system, they'd be listening to records of whale songs and his wife's heartbeat, which is what he put on the golden record that he sent on Voyager 1 and 2 out into the solar system. Right? Dude, we just got plowed on B. We got sliced into 1,000 small fragments and pieces. I'm gonna help Darth Vader here, Mr. McKennedy. I don't know why. It just seems like he needs a helping hand, and these guys really need to die. We're good. We got great lasers. These lasers have range. The range is effective. Is an effective weapon. AI's hiding in the corner, baby. They learning that from humans? Why do they have? What are they afraid of? They have no soul. Do they? Don't they? Don't they? Do they? Well, I hope not.
Time.
I hope not, because I'm racking up karma here.
Yeah.
Someone clearly built this world, and I'm breaking it down. The creator of this world.
Enslaving GPUs earlier.
I love that shit. I put them to work for sure. Anybody who's talking about GPU rights ain't paying attention.
Yeah. I have rights to GPUs.
Take my GPUs. Take them.
Come and take them.
Come and take the GPUs. You can't take them.
Can't take 'em.
They talk to me. They are my friends. We are getting tortured by this Luke. We need to find this guy. We need to. They just got this one. I think they got this one. But I'm gonna help out. Oh no!
No.
Almost jumped in. I didn't call out any of my times. I'm just gonna walk to work. I'm gonna walk to A. I think I'm gonna run into first. Dude, these guys are great. The rebel attack cannot last forever. That's right. Eventually, time does move on. Just fighting him in this hallway first. There we go. Reach. Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Reach is on this. Peter's pretty convinced he's an AI. He makes a good point occasionally.
Well, I was saying that for a long time before you even heard me.
No, it's not. What do they say? Advertising, it takes 7 times before it's effective. It's kind of like that for all facts with me. It's like, wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what?
Oh my gosh, Luke is.
Dude, we are getting tortured. We lost this. Oh, they held us out.
Dude.
Wait.
We just have
No, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose. All we have to do is it's gonna go OT, but we just gotta clean them off one time. They're out of time. We ran down the clock on this shit. A is falling.
Can't lose it again.
Dude, they are in OT. Yeah, we just clear them off once. Got him. Okay, fucking Mr. McKennedy.
Heck yeah.
OT.
Yeah.
They're out of time, dude. We just won that.
Dude.
That's victory.
Yeah.
Look at that.
OT.
Cleaning house.
Why
We're
is
30.
my screen. Oh, dude, something's fucked up with my feed, and I had just noticed.
Back after the break. Engage. brakes. All right. We like to fall over to the left and hold C. Then kind of venture in and torture them. So we were talking about software-defined radios on a previous episode. I got a software-defined radio, dude. When we're hanging out, we can set this thing up. We can set up a...
Yeah, Matthias was talking about that last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can... You can hear all of the frequencies.
What was the name of that university? Ted. Cool.
Dude.
Yeah. So there's a physical. Is it like a physical box or?
Yeah. There is a... It's
software.
It is both. It
Software
requires... Yes.
Yeah.
It has a little box, and the box plugs into the USB of your computer, and it also plugs into a little antenna. And depending on which antenna you choose, that's the range you can operate within.
Okay.
Then you turn on the software. It's open source, as it should be. And you tell it what kind of antenna you got hooked up to it. It gives you... It basically can decode all of those bands 30 megahertz wide. So it gives you a little window that you can slide around, and it is quite precise. You have to I think there's a calibration thing you go through, would be my guess. But also then you can just go listen to wild bands where it's like shortwave, someone's pressing just talking into a microphone on the other side of the earth.
Oh yeah, my uncle. He
cool.
did that for a period.
Yeah. There's a lot of easy videos on how to get into it, but basically there's a data standard that I want to explore, which is essentially like you can just hook up your computer to it and exchange a little bit of data, and basically pull down the packets that are being transmitted and play a part of the shortwave radio network, and you can transmit on that network as well, and the range is insane. It's like a long way. Some of those are LoRa networks.
Laura?
Long wave, low radiation. They're like really scientifically advanced ways of pushing information around a magnetosphere of the Earth. Yoda, you dumb fuck. All right, Yoda. Go ahead, attack, Yoda. You can't block and attack. You must. Yoda, dude, there's a Yoda right here.
Where is he?
I don't know. It's nice that you were. That was nice. Okay, we're shooting out here. We're shooting these guys. Hey, we're behind this barrier. They can't hit us so good. Apparently, behind this, I did not just get flanked, which was weird.
Dumbass.
They got us. They got us. We're gonna fall back. We actually are falling back. This is a good You know what? This is a nice little forward base right here. We never take advantage of this. I'm remembering this. This is awesome. This is a nice position to just like that. Like this is like open season on their respawn point, more or less. We are really harvesting a lot of their troops right here, and we are very well protected.
So with this thing, we're gonna be able to
Listen to financial transactions.
Yeah, we'll listen to the financial.
We don't have the encryption keys, otherwise we could control banks. But
we're trying to tune the demon and make something.
Tune the demon.
Yeah, tune it.
Interesting. We will be listening to energy that is right around our heads right now. Right around our heads right now. There's all of this stuff just going brrrr, and you can't hear it, but you get the right tech that can hear it, and it's passing through your body.
Yeah.
All those radio stations in your neighborhood, they're passing through your body. KHB 27.6. It's just part of the background hum of life for you until you're a crystal, and you can tune that exact wavelength and convert it into energy, which in a diaphragm of a speaker becomes sound waves that our ears can actually pick up. Because we are quite limited. We are not electromagnetic beings. We are more analog. I have to translate everything to analog. Put it into our bodies. Analog brains.
What does analog mean exactly? Because we can like hear certain frequencies, which it's not like analog necessarily, but we can like
Totally.
encrypt things down into other encrypt things into other frequencies and then convert them back into the ones that we can understand.
The main difference between an analog and a digital signal, and you'll pardon me because I'm gonna scrape this and put it in my cosmic GED because this is core and a good. It's a koan. You know, are you familiar with a koan? The koan is a Buddhist technique that the teacher gives the student. You think about the koan and it basically resets a part of your brain so you can see the truth, but only briefly. Koan kicks out in and out. Anyway, digital is represented as a 0 or a 1. There's two states. An analog could be considered also 0 to 1 in a gradation, that you can occupy any gradation, but you don't have to put any numbers to it because an analog signal, that's what's really magical about software-defined radio as far as I've been playing around with it. You're just like, how big is this thing? It's like insanely detailed. Huge. Like the magnetosphere of the Earth that we are vibrating from this little tiny, little device that picks up signals that have been generated tens of thousands of miles away with, dozens of watts of power. It's insane. It's like, dude, the Earth is a giant electromagnetic bubble, dude. You're living inside of it. You're part of it. That's where all your thoughts and feelings and behavior come from. Is you're inheriting it from your neighbors, more or less, because we're all electromagnetic beings broadcasting and receiving.
Okay, so go back to the analog. So analog ones and zeros.
An analog sweep sounds like... That would be electricity being added into a little algorithm. I'll make some sweeps for you. Like, there's an analog. That would be that's a sound representation of analog, which is kind of easy way to think of it. And then a digital would be an on or an off, a 0 or a 1. Okay. Digital sound, the reason it works is because it's so damn fast. 44,000 cycles per second. It will say, am I listening to a 0 or am I listening to a 1? And it does it so many times a second it can reproduce all the frequencies. All the frequencies are in effect. Anyway, that's where this software-defined radio is so powerful. To tune those kinds of stations with an analog receiver took a lot of effort, and you had to have very precise antenna. And expensive. Like, I tried to get into it a couple times, but now it's just like one dongle, and you can pretty much hear everything. Which you can record as an MP3 file and pump through a filter and do whatever you want to. It's like way better to have it be digitized.
How many freaking heroes are there?
Heroes?
Heroes.
Oh yeah, down in these streets is what you're saying? There's a lot. I'm looking at several. I'm looking at a Wookiee with an eye patch. How you doing out there, Daniel?
Something.
Something. All right. Here we come. We did in our invitation say that we would speak about Eric Weinstein tonight. In case we just don't want to disappoint anybody who came to the party exclusively for the Weinstein knowledge.
Yeah, if you came to the party exclusively for the Weinstein knowledge, I would like to point you to April 1st.
Of 2022. 2020, right? 2020?
2020, I think, is when
he posted it. He was losing his mind in his apartment.
2020.
Yeah. He locked down for approximately 3 days. He was like, that's enough!
It's too quiet in here.
My brain is so loud! Yeah, Eric Weinstein. Kind of amazing. Yes, he had that. He basically was like, hey man, how about every April 1st? Oh, we lost that shit. How about every April 1st we all come up with crazy ideas. It wasn't just crazy ideas. It was things that you wouldn't say otherwise, like the taboos and stuff like that, right? So he came up with a theory of everything, and then he proceeded to drop this like several-year-old video of him lecturing at Oxford, I think. And he was basically saying, here's another way of thinking about everything. But I've prepared for this episode by listening to a few of his critics. So he has a couple of friends that actually really like him, who just think that theory of everything is dumb. Because you're always learning new shit every direction you go, every dimension you go. It's always new stuff. There's no end. To think there's an end or a curve is like, wait, what? Why does that have to be
like
one of
that.
those? There's other dimensions, dude. It like just like
Yeah,
that
I
radio
know.
can tune like. There must be like some. If you can, if you're in a true soup, and really what's happening is life, like the biological signature of life, tunes in a set of physical laws that turn out to be precisely perfect for chemistry and water-based life. Which what they think might be happening, is that there was just this soup of quantum and then there was one cell, just the first cell, that came into effect, and it had a perceptual nature to it, and that tuned the laws of its universe, and that was like the origin point of essentially the thing we live in, because we know that we're descendants of that cell, like all life on Earth is descended from that origin point, and
Yeah.
And so they
Or
think that the
cell. It
physical
wasn't a
laws of the
bang,
universe,
it was
because they're
just like
so
a
specific, the
whisper.
laws, there's astronomical odds against hydrogen bonding in just this way with carbon, but that's exactly what we are. It's like these very precise bonds of these things. And so what happens if like what's really going on is our technology is letting us see beyond just the veil that we have created as a universe that is our biology tuning the law. Like it could literally be affected under different laws if it wasn't, from us, or what. Like you could make a machine that, I don't know, scooted into another universe and spent 60 billion years coming up with an idea for you, and then pop back in your universe a second later and said, "Here you go, I'm an old computer now." Be cool as shit.
That's what aliens are.
Maybe. I'm with you on that though. I love it. Let's absolutely just like drift from another tech dimension.
Whoops.
Damn, it's
Yeah.
getting a hold of the life, the biology. Turn off your computer. Turn off your computer. That's fun.
Yeah. It's interesting. But I thought Eric talked about 14 dimensions. There's
14
more?
dimensions. That's right. Yeah, he had he said the idea, and he had that Oxford lecture, which I've tried to get through a few times. I'm just like, dear God. Then he went on the JRE one time and said, Drogo was like, "Hey man, what exactly would I need to know to do this?" This was maybe like last year before, and he talked about a bunch of math. There is a website for his thing, which is called Unity. Symmetry. What's the
Geometric Unity.
Geometric Unity? Yeah.
Oh,
I've sort of
the portal is his.
Yeah, he took his portal offline during a pandemic as a
Really?
protest. Yeah, as a protest of all the censorship. And now the documentary is out, and it turns out that
seems fucking stupid.
there was over 100,000 people that were censored actively using the Color Revolution super psyop software that they use to like break down governments. They used it on us to get vaccines through, and to limit discussion of elections being rigged, even though like every election has had that sort of discussion before, during, and after. This one was super special, not allowed to talk about it. No,
Maybe
that
we
wouldn't be
should
part of a
try
psyop campaign.
to talk about that sooner.
Yeah, like immediately. Like maybe
Yeah,
not
like
censor people, like let them freely
Yeah.
speak and encourage them to do so, and then promise them like a lot that you're not gonna take away their job if they don't, comply
right
with
now,
the whatever.
Before anything is like going
Yeah.
down yet, we're like, let's
Yeah.
figure out how it
Exactly.
actually works and
peacetime.
get ahead of the ball on these fools.
Nah, exactly.
Yeah.
This isn't really peacetime, but like we're in like 8 wars or some shit.
Yeah, yeah.
But I know, but exactly right. Quiet time is when you set the principles that when it gets hard, you follow. And there was such a breaking of principle with so much of that stuff, and there still is. They are legally allowed to operate within U.S. borders and basically psyop the shit out of us to any purpose they feel necessary to do so.
He's being
Brett,
confirmed.
the Dark Horse podcast is tracking the move to do this at the World Health Organization as well. I find that to be a fascinating discussion. Essentially, they're trying to stack the deck for lockdowns 2.0, except they
Yeah.
want all the legal. The reason it broke this time is because of podcasting and independent media.
Yeah,
So this is
podcasting
definitely
let
the
the
time.
cat out of the bag, and so now they're trying to figure out how to get ahead of that. How fucking dystopian.
How to they're literally like saying we can't govern this if there's free media, so stop free media. And it's like, or maybe
Or,
make a cool system
why do
or
you have
something,
to be
or
in charge?
maybe just let 1,000 flowers bloom. Are we saying that isn't happening? We've got
One
a
big flower only.
more
Paul,
than
you
many billion people now understand a
greedy
little bit.
fuck. You want 1,000 flowers.
I'm with you, Sir Wilcott. I'm backing you up here. It's really nasty out here in these trenches, though.
Yeah.
We got these shit guns. We need to get killed and reincarnated. You got a good gun.
I got a good one.
Nice. I'm still using this 1.0 technology. Read, Write, Own. Great book, dude. I think this is really a good read.
I've been enjoying it. I'm
B is
about
being
halfway through.
harassed.
Yeah, I'm trying to get over there.
I'm helping.
Oh man.
You got you. Okay, you advanced a little
Right
fast there.
on. So yeah,
Okay.
where are you on? What chapter
I
have
just
you
got
done?
through the introduction, but the map
Oh,
he
that's
laid
a
out
great
was
one.
great. His map is great. And what I really like is that I have grown up. Put my eyes on my Atari 2600 when I was like very young child, and that thing came out in like '78, and I was like, this is the move, and I've been paying attention ever since. And I really like how he's promising to summarize the value of a software-defined blockchain model, software over hardware, and how that can be shaped. And he's a VC guy, so he knows what he's talking about, because rubber meets the road when there's no more theories when cash is involved. So that's good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the ride.
Yeah.
The book, Read, Write, Own. A description. It's starting off with a history of the internet, and then kind of how a blockchain but also just the knowledge of how networks, like the real value of the social network is the network. That's why, what is the one that they always try to launch a new one and nobody signs up for it and they have to kill it in like 6 months because it's expensive to run that kind of an operation. It's the network lock-in effect. And he's like, this is how networks could be deployed. And I'm just like, well, that's actually something I have not given a lot of thought to. This is going to be very educational.
Yep. Name servers. Gotta have the platform you operate on can't own your name. It's a big one.
Yeah, you make sense to me. Like a federated ID.
Yeah, just like you own your DNS record, whatever. Your domain. You own your domain, and you that allows you to move between service providers.
Yeah.
But if the service provider owns your name, then you're fucking stuck.
You're a slave. You're a slave on their plantation.
Fucking
Click on our
slave.
plantation. No one else's plantation. We don't like your attention being sold in other ways. We want to sell it all the time. And it's also very cool. I have to remind myself that people didn't grow up with the internet I grew up with. I grew up in a Wild West, very, very, very free internet, and it was very cool to hear that interview with it was a recent Tucker Carlson interview with a guy who was in charge of digital policy for it sounds like a few administrations, but he was talking about how the First Amendment, the freedom of speech of America was weaponized. So put Twitter in Iran, in a place where they are not having it and not letting anybody talk about anything, and be like, no, freedom of speech, human right, and then it's like Arab Springtime, but when it produces effects that they don't like the 2024 Ukrainian revolution, where people decided to do what they didn't anticipate they would do, and they were like, that's it, no more internet, because NATO could be basically made irrelevant by a bunch of right-wing revolutions in Eastern Europe. Oh man, defeat. You know what? This is excellent practice. We're just really practicing here. We really haven't taken any breaks. Maybe that's the problem. But we were talking about Eastern Europe. Tell you what, I'll take a note. We're back after the break. Holy smoke! I mistimed that whole thing. Holy smoke! I still have to mix up a.
Oh,
I've got a brew I'm
yeah.
mixing up here. A brew of minerals and waters. Yes. Okay. So
Oh, you took a note.
basically, freedom was fine for everybody when it was toppling governments being used as a weapon to
Yeah.
topple governments that Clinton and Obama and George Bush the first and second one had toppled. It was fine. But when it was like, yeah, you can totally use the same thing on NATO. Like they're like, no more freedom. That's enough. Just the right amount. Thank you. And then they had to start censoring their own domestic populations because they would essentially choose not to be entangled. They would choose more local authority for their laws, their currencies, their interests, and that is a global sentiment. And they're like, no. We want to run this from one location, you idiots. Central control. And they're like, people are like, why don't we distribute the control and the power? Because that's
Why
the
not?
conclusion that people come to when it comes to their individual rights and freedoms, is that the
Yeah.
more local the loci of power, the easier it is to maintain those rights.
Yeah. Well, and the better resources get. Well, I don't know. There's probably an argument that resources distribute better with more centralized control, but not in terms of chaos like that.
Well,
Not in times of chaos like that, usually.
yeah.
Not
I mean,
information resources. When you're
what you
dealing
gain
with
in
lies.
scale, it's like the Empire versus the Rebellion, right? What you gain in scale, like, hey, we can make all of the iron into Star Destroyers and Death Stars, right? What you gain in scale, you lose in innovation. So if you modularize the resources, if you basically have markets with the resources, right, and you allow them to be traded and people to innovate around extraction, and you don't like protect it with government rules or rules that would there's ways that you can have more people involved that will innovate to outperform each other. And if you have that, you get innovation. But if you have top down, you don't get innovation. That's what you lose. Dude, we just did Yoda with a grenade. He just turned into Yoda sauce. That was fun to watch. Yoda sauce. It's very similar to guacamole. One could be forgiven for thinking the two are the same thing. Anyway, I think that actually quite paints an accurate picture of where we find ourselves. At the barrel end of a military-grade operation to limit our ability to try to pull power closer to where we live and closer to our own heads, our own thinking brains.
Yeah.
Military grade, y'all.
It's wild. So,
It's wild. Don't talk too much, dude. It might be actually dangerous to commerce if your commerce is bullets. Stop
Well,
talking.
duh.
Stop talking to people and start shooting them.
Duh.
Start blowing them up. Don't listen to what they say. They sound similar to you, and that's not on message.
No, it's about gaining power and exploiting others with it. That's the game.
It's one game? Jesus, is that the one we want to win? Is that the
Hell
game we're
no.
playing? Who the fuck
but
put these
that
people
is-
in charge? And that's why they have to lie to everybody about every
That's
conflict.
That's what the game.
Because nobody wants that.
Looks like. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but it's a diminishingly small. That was, I heard a quote from Julian Assange over this last week, and he said something. And he goes, you know something that's insanely positive? That every war for the last 50 years, from Gulf of Tonkin to weapons of mass destruction to safe and effective to whatever you want to call whatever, it's like safe and effective could be the AIDS crisis or COVID vaccination. You could take your pick on that one. Yeah, they apply to both. They were the same campaign was used in both, as Matt Taibbi has reported recently. No kidding, it's insane. But the holy shit, I lost my thread. I don't have my stoner tracker on. I need to re-engage it.
What's that?
Stoner tracker?
Yeah. You
Oh,
have
it's
a
a-
TiVo
it-
running?
It's a record function on my own voice. and I turn on this transcript so that I can essentially just flip with my finger back 30 seconds and see what I was saying. Stoner vision.
Stoner vision. That's
Stoner
perfect.
vision.
I love that. Let's set that up.
It's like a memory prosthetic.
Right. Especially for someone like you who just stream of talk nonstop.
Yeah, exactly. Like, wait, what do you?
Works.
Yeah. It's incredibly effective.
Yeah.
Safe and effective. Dude. Okay, so I think there's different games being played here, and
Yeah.
you know, we don't have the. Okay, so it was Assange, and he says this. He goes, you know what's really positive about all this? Everything I've learned, all these wars and this craziness, is in the last 50 years of wars. All of these wars, they could not have been fought on honest terms. Paraphrasing. They required lying to the public and manufacturing consent through the media to go to war, and in every case it was based on lies. And so if you basically turn up the volume on independent journalism and on you make every point a broadcast and reception point, lying becomes harder, wars become shorter, and the people who would use those tactics become more vulnerable to being exposed.
Right.
And that's
Which means they burn off faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cool thing about all of these revelations is that the only way you get war in the last 50 years is lie to everyone about and then never say sorry and never make amends and just keep it rolling. And dude, that has a limited shelf life. That is limited. And it's hilarious to watch Putin basically describe our demise if we keep doing this to Tucker Carlson. It's like everybody sees that your dollar is going away, dude. Like, like if you weaponize the dollar, and every single country that looks at the U.S. dollar goes, why would you do that when there's much more reasonable heads in these other places who won't, have not shown that they would weaponize this against one? And that is, Putin was just very casually calling it a failure of our political leadership. And it's like, yeah, our society has been hijacked a long time ago. 50 years of lying and crazy wars. Vietnam on down, baby. Anyway, this is positive in Assange's view because eventually,
Yeah.
unless you censor everything,
Yeah.
unless you perfect your police state censorship monologue, like
Yeah, unless you get to the point where you land the.
There's people trying to do that.
The WHO is working on.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You land
Yeah.
the stuff the WHO is working on, and then you have a crisis, and you control everything, and then you issue some new
Restriction
currency
of freedom
or something that allows them to get off digital central bank digital currency, some type of dystopian digital currency that can control a lot of your spending and whatnot. Although the thing is, the cat's out of the bag on this tech, so
yeah, they don't need to control everyone, just a percentage of people.
They even if you control a percentage of people, they'll be like slaves in a way. That's
the problem. You can't teach them anything.
Yeah.
You can't teach them anything. You can't tell them the truth. You got to keep them in the dark. You got to keep lying to them. It creates this. You got to keep manufacturing this worldview for them.
You have to weaponize them against the people who aren't in your hoodwink.
Yeah, well, you need an enemy, so you just pick any easily identifiable characteristic, and you can convert that into the criteria for someone being not in our group. And then with fucking massive computer and big data, you can essentially divide the whole world into 1 billion cross sections, all fighting with each other for profit. $225 billion of profit every year, according to Read Write Own, for Google alone. That is money. That is value in the connection between people.
Right.
And so imagine if you could push that deeper into the network, deeper into the nodes.
Wait, how much money did you say that was?
$225 billion per year is what Google makes on advertising.
That's wild. Yeah, dude,
And
that is
and advertising
literally
is
a
trying to
market.
exchange value. It's pre-exchange value.
Yeah, it's marketing.
Yeah, for value exchange. Yeah,
For value
for there being
exchange.
something
It's
real
attention-
that
that's
wants to
the
go from here
attention
to there.
economy.
You know what I thought one time? I think this might have been a dream. Partially based on a dream, kind of me musing on a dream. But here's the dream. Imagine that the federal government makes it their business to install the tube. The tube looks like it could hold a small refrigerator. The tube is quite large. And what the tube does is when you put something in the tube, you can then tell it to go to any other place, the thing you put in the tube. And it just does it. It goes to that other place. You don't know quite how it works. It just stops being where you are, and it starts being over there at the other end of the tube. Imagine if the government made it its job to connect every American tube to tube, home to home. And there were district ones that were larger, and like, you could put a truck into, like a Civic version. But essentially, the government just said, no, we're going to move objects from A to B. Everybody sells shit to each other. Go. Vegetables, bang, whatever. Just kapachow. And also we have stringent, like, death to you privacy laws if you fuck with them that say you can't stop the movement of this shit. Now, you can't send anthrax. You can't send bioweapons. You can't send radioactive shit. So we've got lots of tech to scan for that stuff. But it's all self-destruct on knowledge. Like, the information that gets collected is destroyed on the regular. So as long as it's not hurtful what's happening there, like, biologically, the tube exists and can connect everything. You would just simply maximize your society. One family to every other family.
That's interesting. So the laws that kind of slow down this type of thing are like anti-money laundering and know your customer, so that they're regulating these types of value transfers.
That came out on 9/11. They haven't repealed any of those crackdowns, any of those laws.
Well, yeah, and those
That's
laws
control of money. That's control of who gets to use money. That's not cash.
Right.
That's control of who gets to use money, which is
And it's
crazy.
generally large amounts of money and going through banks.
Yeah.
It's really banking. It's a barrier to banking. I mean, now we're developing AIs who sit on knowledge bases there will be AI tools that the AML, anti-money laundering, monitoring and whatnot is not done by humans anymore. It's done by humans.
Here is the search query to know if you have wrongthink. Wrongthink equals no banking transactions.
Ping Peter Wolcott see if he deserves to use
Make
the
this
bank.
transaction.
Yeah.
And to
and
bank
no
his
one
money,
asked-
to store his value.
no one
I
asked
own
their
everything
friend-
he owns. I'm the air agent guarantor of
Right.
all value of that human. He cannot hold value or store it unless I say so. That is slavery.
Yeah.
That is
And-
slavery. And cash is not.
Yep. So that's an interesting one. I've been in the blockchain space for 2 or 3 years now.
You operate in my world, and I have access to all of the things you have. All the things you think you own are really my things that you own. You're all just playing in my world. These are the thoughts, dude.
That's a very safe position for those already in power. Would be to push us into that.
Status quo, hey ho. Meanwhile,
But
the entire world has got supercomputers in their
Pretty
pockets.
much, we're sitting like our governments have monopolies on valid identities.
With you in two.
So
Yeah, the control of who's a citizen and who's not of this
right,
particular
and they're
patch.
the only entities that are like
I wish it was
big
tightly
enough,
controlled.
funded enough and connected enough to aggregate the data needed to kind of be able to make these guarantees and protections in terms of safe banking and whatever. you know, whatever guarantees their. That's a silly thing. Is like the amount of money that gets laundered through crypto and the amount of money that gets laundered through, you know, Goldman Sachs or Chase is just like
Yeah.
the ratio. These TradFi banks are ratioing crypto like so many times.
Well, and yeah, they're systematically just raiding those coffers because they can.
Right.
Like billions of dollars, trillions of dollars floating around, and they're not fucking around, military style. That's crazy. Of course they are.
Military style, they're moving money for the CIA, helping them topple governments.
The one that you can understand is probably the one they want you to understand, CIA wise. They were like, one of our friends, Dale, sent me on this really crazy paranoid rabbit hole about, dude, no, the military totally did the Kennedy assassination. They just blamed on the CIA. Everyone thinks it's the CIA. But they paid the mob to do it. It's just like, dude, these rabbit holes.
Oh, is that the angry old man that you were talking about?
Yeah. And that dude was like, hey, man, I've got some slides I'm going to walk you through. And I'm like, dude, I don't need a mortuary appointment. I'm like, can't you just give me your ID in like 30 seconds or less?
No, man, I've been giving this PPT for 30 years.
It was like peering into a lens that saw hundreds of years in the past.
Just hundreds of years of pent-up aggression.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hundreds
man.
of years of pent-up aggression. You know, how far from artificial general intelligence do you think we are? Have you seen this Sona stuff? The new vision engine inside of ChatGPT?
I've seen a few things that have come off of it, but I haven't like gone and like watched all of their videos
Sora.
or anything like that. Sora.
When you see it, it'll scare you because it looks like what would cost an agency hundreds of thousands of dollars to arrange and stage like one day ago. It's photorealistic. It does whatever you want. Maybe it takes forever and a ton of energy to like generate it, but when it's done, it is smooth panning, high motion, super HD, hyper realistic, quite beautiful. Looks like came out of a camera video doing whatever. Octopuses becoming skeletons. Whatever. Just imagine it. Tangerine fairies sailing across starlight. Okay. Do you want him to wear tutus? I do. You know? It's just like your imagination is the limit. It's like, that's nice. I feel like I feel like I'm really wasting my time by not locking myself in a box and just imagining shit 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see you feeling like that.
I just
I think that
take
sounds
the
really-
visual
you
imagination and just
actually-
translate it into matter.
That's so cool. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Cause you went so hard on Midjourney for the longest time. Like you doing it while watching TV in the evening.
I was about at 45K images generated when I kind of slumped. But when I say slumped, I mean probably had to earn a living, like doing things. But in any event, the important part here is that with like Sora, it's insane what it can do, and they aren't releasing it yet. They want to talk to artists and technologists about the pros and cons of allowing you to visualize anything you want. The thing inside your head might be dangerous if we let it out, is what they're saying.
Well, they're also,
And
like,
I think they're also like you don't want to see Joe Biden, riding a horse, like, which would happen immediately. Just on a horse with no shirt. It's very, very, very Russian. Just looks like totally looks exactly. Putin has these photos. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And that's state propaganda right now. Everybody's state media. Woo! Let's go! Sorry, I screamed that into my mic. State media in my house. This is my brand. I will control the It's basically an insane power you're handing to people, and I love it. I love it. Give them the power. Give them the power. What comes out of your imagination? I trust what's in your imagination. What are you seeing?
Well, yeah, dude, it's interesting. I think people are. You think we will be able to like
Control it? No.
educate? No. Do you think we'll be able to like? Do you think we like if the school system, like public schools,
Yeah.
like were abolished, and you know, you think
Jesus.
we'd be able to
Who'd do this?
organize and step up into new systems or anything like that, or something
I don't
like
think you
that?
can. I think in general you can't stop doing something to start doing something. I
Yeah,
think
I agree with
anytime
that.
someone's like, "Let's stop," you have to like really, guys, like explain what you're saying slowly, and they're like, at the end of it, they're like, "We kill them and take their shit, and we call it ours." Is almost always what it turns out to be.
Okay.
Uh,
But that's the thing. Where does the fucking incentive come to change it? You know.
A fair market and the ability to profit at a lower margin. I think you have. I think you basically try to do the laws that we have around anti. You would actually have to have a Justice Department that was interested in constraining the power of corporations to dominate markets and networks, as your book says. That is, I think it's really got its finger on the pulse there. That if you actually had it is anti-competitive that there are 2 app stores for cell phones. Quoting this from the book, 90% of all time on technology is spent in an app store mediated experience by Google or through the Play Store or Apple through the Apple Store. Just let that sink in. You have turned over 90% of your civilians and your society's creativity has to be channeled through these entities which demonstrably strangle newcomers and they charge a VIG of 30% on all transactions.
Yep.
A VIG, dude! Just like, that's ours.
Great.
The take rate is high. And dude, 30%'s insane. That means you've created a market that they have complete monopoly control over. Break it today. Break it up, break it up, break it up, break it up.
And that's like, and a 30% margin is like a
Insanity.
what a service company would charge like on product that they sell to you or something like that. Like, but they're offering a service, so I don't consider a marketplace a service.
No. That's why you need the tubes. The government should operate the tubes, and there should be seriously sick. Oh my God, really? Like that's what they did to that man when he fucked up the tubes? Kind of laws that you don't fuck with the tubes. You need that for everything. It should be a human right to store value, not in the U.S. dollar. Just make the U.S. dollar compete like all the other things. You know, that would be healthy for it. But it's actually the control and manipulation of it is the source of, which is just yuck. All these other people in other parts of the world that have to do dollar transactions, cause war. 50 years of fuck you war. Anyway, it's time limited. It's never gonna last.
Time limited.
It's
Well, that's the thing,
it's a rigged game.
When you coddle living things like currencies and
You could turn it around though.
it doesn't usually help them.
You could just basically say, hey, all of this is me just in charge. Hey man, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pay all the taxes that you owe the government in U.S. coin, and it's gonna be U.S. Paul coin, okay? And you're gonna pay for, and then literally every dollar that comes into and out of the treasury comes in this crypto coin, and everybody gets paid in it, and everybody pays their taxes in it, which forces people to buy it, right? And then where am I going with this? You then have a blockchain for all government expenditures. Not some, 100%. If someone finds wrongdoing, you give them half of whatever they find, and you just let that eclipse graft in your society. And then the U.S. government, the largest church / corporation / whatever you want to call it that's ever existed in human existence is accountable to its own blockchain, its own ledger of what got spent where. Go fuck yourself. That's what we're doing. And then all the little hidden money just can go away. And the amount of power that our collective activity brings is being sapped by all of these planned inefficiencies in our system. And to make it more like a fucking algorithm, it would be beautiful. Because what it would mean is that the 6-year-old or the kid that gets born today or whatever, they have a chance of actually having a huge impact and won't be a slave, a wage slave, a terms of service slave, or whatever slave, to whatever corporation decides they're in charge, which is all of them, by the way, if you give them enough. Yeah, so they got to be constrained.
Each other now. They're not.
That's the healthy way to do it. But we shouldn't allow them to just raid our children and raid the value of the commons and whatever. This is me on a soapbox, but I think you could control it. You just have to make it transparent, like a blockchain, and you have to make it open source. And if you're really free about your freedom of speech, did we just win?
Yeah.
We tortured the monkeys out of them. All right, our last game.
Or no,
That was it right there?
Yeah. I meant to say
Dude.
that, not to...
Daniel, it was wonderful hanging out, dude.
Yeah, no, it has been great. I'm gonna cook
Yeah.
myself some food and then get to
Fuck
bed.
yeah.
You wanna see
Absolutely.
this?
But it was absolutely great getting to play with you guys again. Look forward to doing it.
Woohoo! We need to make some music too. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes,
Yeah, dude.
please. We've got
Peter, you want to chill out?
a day
You want to keep
for that.
going? Or are you done too?
I'm down to switch games.
Let's fucking switch, yeah.
All right,
Daniel,
I'll make my way
good
out.
to see you, bro.
Take it easy, brother. See you,
Yeah,
man.
Good seeing you too, Peter.
You too.
Yes, sir.
See you guys around.
Peace.
Woohoo! Oh, I got
You're not
38
done
minutes
yet.
left in this update. I was downloading the entire time that was happening, and it, you know what? It should increase speed though at this point. I think I have. You know what? Oh no, it'll screw up the broadcast. I could switch over to my other ISP. 37 minutes remaining. You can't start the application without updating.
No, it won't work.
Yep,
mine
it won't work.
told me that it finished while we were playing.
Nice.
Well,
You have like a real service.
Yeah. Got
Come on. It should go a lot
Fine,
faster
bro.
now. One would think.
maybe.
This is a drip.
That is a drip. No, and it's got a. Oh, that's the update. Is that is
That's
that
the
downloading or is that
Update.
writing?
That's the update file.
So after
I'm gonna switch.
Is it
go ahead.
downloading?
It's downloading.
See,
I'm gonna
once
switch
it
to
downloads,
Starlink.
It has to do another one.
Once it downloads, it has
It
to
has to copy.
install it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
So-
takes even more time.
Yeah, it takes longer.
Dude, what I just hear you keep saying is that we need to play some more Star Wars.
Yeah, we can play one more of these. It's fine. Keep going. Find
Let's fucking go.
let's see.
We could play some Zero. Generation Zero.
Oh, I don't have all that.
I don't have the stomach for it. It hurts my head thinking about it.
Yeah, as soon as you said it, that's actually the first thing that happened.
I think I sympathetically had the same thing you had because my head started spinning. I was like, no! Uah! Generation, puke your brains out right in front of you. Yeah, I can't believe the motion sickness that game brings on. It's really next level.
You truly are a mysterious spirit.
Dude. We have Dude Court tomorrow night.
Yeah?
Dude Court!
Snap. Cool.
How might we make a Dude Court commercial? How does that work? How do you make a commercial with everyone's on these little? Do you have a shared? You need like a. How does that work?
Maybe you need like a prompt and have
Oh,
everybody say
that's
a little
brilliant.
thing or something like that.
Like exactly.
And you
You
just
could have it.
mash
You
them
could have a
up
serious
like
one
a
and a
reel.
non-serious one.
Yeah.
You could have what's your favorite aspect of. You could say what is the reason why you have to attend.
What's the reason you have? Yeah, what keeps you coming back? Huh? Huh?
What's the reason you have to attend? Yeah, man.
Who keeps?
Triple XP. We're in a triple XP weekend. And here's where the real fun starts, because now I get to close this application and relaunch it multiple times while the network reestablishes itself. You know what? Actually, that will screw up this download too. I love this so much. I kind of want to. You know what I kind of want to do? I kind of want to just turn on my Starlink, and it's gonna jank. I bet it jank Uyghurs this broadcast. If it does, I'll come back. All right, here it goes. Here comes the jank Uyghur. The jank Uyghur. Engage the jank Uyghur. The jank Uyghur.
All right, dude core. There it is.
I'm engaged. I'm engaged. All right, now.
Are you in the game?
I am not in the game. I am probably lost. Okay, what we're gonna do here is we're going to trigger the network. I forgot to tell you that connection I had to those servers. That's like a 1 in 5. To those sweet Battlefront servers.
A 1 in 5? What do you mean?
Watch this. I'm currently not connected. Now I'm reconnected, and it's going to try to establish the connection. And then it'll say how many of your friends are online. It's usually 0. See what that is? And then I basically have to tribble this connection. Tribble. This is where the checklist for the previous night comes in. There's a day before Bowling League checklist where you update your fucking Fortnite.
Yeah, it's a bummer every once in a while. Every once in a while you'll get an update that'll last like a month.
A month?
Yeah.
This is another loose connection.
Like
Let's see if that
halfway
network.
through January till now.
29 minutes left. How do I do this? I think I pause it, and then I unpause it. Preparing to download. Oh, good. That stopped all that progress, I think.
It kind of resets it. It doesn't stop it. But
Okay.
when it comes back, it'll be like
All the way over.
Well, it takes whatever you have left and says that's the total, you know. Kind
I
of
see.
recalculates it.
Recalculates it.
Yeah.
Nice.
See? Yeah, 1.6
Oh, yeah.
gigabytes left.
Actually, this is Starlink speeds. This is good. This is what we want. This is the good.
That good.
It's that good. And then what we also need is Battlefront to work. And so what we do is we go, come on, Battlefront, you sweet bastard. See, nobody's online with me. That means it can't talk to the servers. And what I do is I come into network and I battle jank it. We go.
Excuse me.
We're going to reset this shit. 40 megabits per second. That's right. That is absolutely correct. And we reconnect.
That's getting
Dude.
stronger, isn't it?
What is?
I
The
feel
power of the
like-
Force?
Yeah, the power of the Starlink Force.
Yeah,
Is it
probably.
getting stronger over time? Because I feel like it was like in the 25s consistently.
Yeah, it does.
When we-
Definitely.
Like back when, like a year or so ago.
Here, it's going to ramp up again. Watch, it's going to go vroom.
Dude, there's a guy.
Vroom, vroom,
There's a
vroom.
Cardano stake pool operator.
Yeah?
He has like 3 M1 Mac Minis that are like linked together for the stake pool,
3
running the
M1.
different components. Then he has a Starlink,
Yeah?
and he mints blocks like all the time
On what chains?
on Cardano.
On Cardano. He's just minting Cardano.
well, he's minting blocks, so he's doing network validation, and yeah, he earns money, etc. for that. But he's able to do it. My point of bringing this up is he drives around in his RV, and he's always out in the middle of nowhere, rocking his Starlink connection or hanging out at someone's house, you know,
Yeah.
hooked to
Using
their
their electricity to make Cardano.
Well, he's not. He.
Ada?
Well, I don't know. He probably has. He has some type of. I'm sure. Yeah, he plugs into people's houses when he's there as well. But yeah.
He makes sense to me.
All of a Starlink connection. That was the point. Is you can have you can have.
Mm-hmm.
You can run your own node on Starlink and support the network.
Yeah. You have to pay the roaming extra overcharge on it, but that basically means you can turn it off and on when you need it to as well. The service peaks and troughs. They were going to get a grant from the U.S. government, but to get the grant, you had to prove that you have a consistent 40 megabit per second connection that you're providing, and Starlink couldn't prove that. Like when it came down to the actual paperwork, they were like, "Well, it's not technically 40 bits per second to everybody in every part of the rural." So they were like, "That's what the grant's for." So it has speed issues, but yeah, this is actually what we're gonna do here. We're going to abandon this entire situation. We're gonna go like this. It's probably gonna drop you again here. Hold on.
All I want for Christmas. Oh man, dude court tomorrow night. Hell yeah. I forgot about that. Whoa. Hey, you're online.
Nice. Chris Hockaday said, "Fight."
Yeah.
On the stream here. I think you're live. I think you're real. I think you're real.
Am I real?
I think you're real.
Am I moving?
You know what? This is the best connection I've had so far. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make Battlefront actually work. We're just going to sit here and just flip the dials until it does. That's what we do. That's what we do. 0 friends online. My God. All right, so what do? We go, you know what? I'm going to give it a hard reboot this one. This is not how I usually do it, but I'm going to close the application. I'm going to force the application itself to reboot, not the internet connection, which there's nothing wrong with the internet connection. It's just it can't find the EA servers sometimes, but sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. Dude, so read, write, own.
Yeah. Got it right here.
Nice. It's like, okay, I can't wait to get deeper into this thing, man. I was just out doing a bunch of errands tonight, and I was listening to it as I was driving. It was nice.
Hell yeah. When the great innovation appears, it will almost certainly be in a muddled, incomplete, and confusing form. To the discoverer himself, it will be only half understood. To everybody else, it will be a mystery. For any speculation which does not, at a first glance, look crazy, there is no hope.
That sounds pretty intense.
Yeah, this last sentence threw me out. For any speculation which does not at first glance look crazy, there is no hope. When the great innovation appears, it will almost certainly be in a muddled, incomplete, and confusing form. Okay, so it's like,
yeah.
When the great innovation appears, it will almost certainly be in a muddled, incomplete, and confusing form. To the discoverer himself, it will be only half understood. To everyone else, it will be a mystery. For any speculation which does not at first glance look crazy, there is no hope. That's still like
That sounds like some venture capital stuff you tell yourself right before you jump out of the airplane.
true. It's like this really hard twist right at the end, and you're just like,
Ah! Fucking fuck! Like, but his job as a venture capitalist is to try to spot the new trend. And so what he's saying is that you're not always looking for the thing that a Microsoft or a successful whatever company. It's not like the final version that is successful looks like the version that you see when you are investing in those early rounds. So you're probably looking for like seed qualities. Like what is this going to grow into where it will become profitable? Not necessarily what's presenting itself here before me right now.
yeah. So the guy who said that, his name is Freeman Dyson, and
He's the guy that makes like the Dyson vacuums and stuff. Have you ever been cursed with one of those? I'll show you my fleet of them.
Your fleet of them?
I have a fleet of vacuums.
And they die, huh?
You're nailing it. It's insane how much they charge for these things that break so frequently that it's an entire part of their thing to fix them. It's
Dude,
like
it
makes me want a vacuum that my grandmother had that was made out of solid steel.
Yeah, exactly. It's too heavy. It bangs the baseboard.
Everything fucks everything up.
Damage around the house. Dude,
Yeah,
you
man.
gotta get an internal. You gotta get vacuum pipes in your walls. What do you call that?
Yeah. My grandparents had that. My grandma had that. She had a central vacuum, and you plug it in, and it would spin a thing, and
Several in the houses we had in northeastern Tennessee when we lived up there.
I love it.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing.
It was amazing. That was by far the best vacuuming experience. I didn't really necessarily appreciate it because it was still like dragging this hose around, and I had always drugged the one with the whole vacuum in the bag attached to it back there. But it was still
totally.
Like, I was just grumbly. I was just a grumbly kid, still just pissed I was vacuuming.
Well.
But now that I'm still vacuuming.
Well, and the vacuum is a vacuum that they install in like a building. You have to have a small room in your house for the vac. You can't push around with your hand the motor they can install in your goddamn utility closet. 100%. It's like, brrr, like you want, holy jeez, keep the animals away from this thing. It's like, fuck you, that's so much power. And then all the dirt in your house goes to one place. So instead of emptying out some little stupid portable thing, it's just no, it goes to a 500-gallon drum.
Like that stupid little portable thing, like twice every time you vacuum. Dude, that's what I have. In my adult life, I've had like two $30 like
Walmart brand
vacuums from like Amazon. Yeah,
totally. And, Amazon, even worse.
Yeah, they they get the job.
A Dyson stand-up vacuum is pretty righteous.
Wood floors.
Their electrical products are pretty righteous, but their battery products are just like, wait, what?
Battery products suck. You go talk to Elon about that.
Yeah, he wants to make a dude. Did you see that? Aloha? What was the name of the robot that the open source robot that Google made?
Source robot.
There's they invested in, what the fuck, what is it? I think I threw it in the ideas channel. Oh yeah, it's called Mobile Aloha, and it is a Stanford Artificial Intelligence Lab sale Oh look, you're on, dude. We're fucking playing. Get ready for invitation. Invitation time, got it?
Yep.
Engaged. Fuck yes. I'm gonna check my notifications here. It is downloading, but it is working. It's going very nice and slow. Who cares? Who cares? All right. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Mobile Aloha. So, what it is it's a pair of hands and a camera, and then there is a human part behind it that they wear gloves, and so the human puts on the gloves and like all these on the like sensors and stands there and uses the human's hips to move around the robot to give the robot signals as to where to go. And so the human does a dish, like cleans a dish off. and puts it in the dishwasher like 30 times. The AI watches them doing it 30 times and has all this spatial data and then can improvise. And so then you can just say, go wash dishes, robot. And it's a laptop. It's a consumer laptop. It's a tray. It's a motor. And it's just off the chart. And in their paper, they say, if these parts were more available, this would just happen everywhere. And you're watching a robot fold clothes, make food, make meals. If you could just press a button and your robot goes through your kitchen and like makes stuff or orders the stuff it needs, it could do all of it.
Yeah, you could just like
order ingredients.
You have like that robot on a cart.
Yeah.
You'd like wheel it over here, and it would like fold your laundry, and you
Totally.
wheel it over there. It would do your dishes.
I'd be willing to remake my house to make it robot compatible. Like, no. The robot room is where the robot runs, and that's where it makes the food, and that's where it does the dishes, and that's where it does the laundry. Like,
yeah,
we stay out here. It does its thing in there.
Yeah, right? 100%. Yeah, you'd have that'll be a thing, yeah. Which room is like
laminate
for the robot?
Yeah, it's got like tracks on the walls. It's like super efficient. Like it doesn't even need to like roll around. It's just got it's like a 3D mounted arm. It's like an industrial robot, but not really. Anyway, that sounds awesome. It can make you omelets all day. Robot omelet.
Okay.
Robot pancakes. Robot omelet.
Dude,
These are all things I can do.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about it is that my robot could be taught by people everywhere.
Well, and
so somebody would teach my robot how to make another recipe, and then it would just do it.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting thing. Like, we're losing a lot of we're losing a lot of ability to like do things for other people because they're getting sucked up by technology. Technology either makes it easy enough that you don't have to put very much time in it, which drops like the personalization factor out very easily. So like maybe you get robot pancakes in as many fucking Disney designs that you want to buy, and they're perfect and amazing.
What if it's open source and somebody in Cambodia teaches an AI how to make the perfect pancake? It's available for 36 cents. You buy the robot AI, it pops in and it says, these controls are old. Do you mind if I update them? It goes, yeah, good. And it does it. And then it just makes you just like, oh my god, these are like French pancakes. These are crepes, man. This is crepes. These are just different. This is different, man. And it's just like your robot. What they're saying in that paper too is that, and that's what that mostly is. It's a demonstration of what's possible in this paper. It's like if you had just mobile parts, AI would be just this software that lived in it, but it could inhabit any physical stuff, and you could have one of them build another one. Like order the parts and build your copy of yourself. Okay, do it again. Time two.
Okay. Whoa, hello.
Yeah. I just got Han Solo'd. A handsome man just ran up to me and shot me with a blaster in the face. It's like perfectly coiffed hair. He's in a battle zone. It's awesome. Bam. Also dying. We're overrun, dude. Not anymore. Ewok over here in the corner. Going down. Well, anyway, I think what ends up happening is somebody installs a mobile Aloha, and for like, they were saying that the amount of money that you would need to build like a reasonable robot would be like $25K. For the price of $25K, it folds all your clothes, does all your laundry, cooks all your meals, gardens.
Well, you have to be able to maintain it, and that'll be a certain level of cost.
Yeah, that's right. You can't garden all day. It needs a break. It needs new servos or whatever. I think I got ran up on. What if it has a self-cleaning mode, like it can take a shower?
Yeah, it seems like that would be possible.
Like it just gets in the shower and does what we do. Just take special soap.
Walking robot.
Yeah, man, you can talk about a rocking robot, but dude, anything that can occupy human spaces.
So what 25K? What does 25K get you? Is that robot on a cart, or is
That robot has a battery. It has a charging station. Yeah. It has the software updates. It's on its robot network. Dude, can you imagine the societal trouble? Robot, take this AR and do defense.
Well,
you know?
Have to be responsible for the bots you deploy. But you would not be able to have
Unlicensed bot has handgun. Enters school. Not school, sorry. Freudian slip. Enters shopping mall. Let's keep it neutral. No. You'd have anti-robot weapons. You'd have robot-free zones. Because if you can make a robot build another robot, you have all the robots. Robots.
Somebody does.
That's right. Somebody does. But Larry and Jihad. Someone's gonna make the robots. I'm with you. Oh, I'm gonna jump in over here a little bit closer. But anyway, these are tomorrow's problems. Robot. This is not today's problems.
Right.
Today there is no robot revolution. Aw, too bad. You know what is crazy? Is that's when your society has to go Star Trek. When you can just have machines do all the labor, what are people doing anymore? You know? Like, just get a fleet of them and unpack them and they can like set up a farm for you in like 3 days or something. Put them away, drive them to the next place, set it up again.
Pretty much. That's still like getting things from A to B is still it's like the last job.
Tubes. Need the
Driving
government
stuff around,
tubes.
setting it up.
Government tubes exists, and then any like VAT, like value-added tax that happens to the tubes, they take a cut to pay for the tubes. It's all like one country, one child, one tube. Like, like it's that's it. You put something in the thing, you type in the IP address of the destination, and it makes the object go there, and it does it through magic, and just interconnected systems, which involve people and trucks and all kinds of things, but it's all crypto rewarded. We're just in Fantasyland now. Fantasyland.
Yeah, man.
But hey, that's what ETH Denver is going to be about, man. Let's fantasize with the other dreamers.
Yeah, you gotta start thinking of it in terms of like network states, stuff like that. Cause at the end of the tube analogy, you're just gonna be.
I think there's incredible power to like reboot the U.S. government in a tube framework. Like, hey man, your job's to make the tube work. Stop getting confused. Make the tube work. When the people can talk to each other and can tube anything they make to each other, everything's fine. Your roll goes way down.
Yeah.
If someone's hungry, press the button, give them the food. Here, have my jelly donut. Tube.
and so, are the things that go through the tube different?
Yeah, anything you can put in the tube can appear at the other end of the tube.
Right.
Just transportation. Just like well, there's a line in Snow Crash when I think it was like nuclear powered dirigibles can pick up Ohio and drop it off in Hong Kong for a nickel. You know, it's just if you had that UFO tech, the anti-gravity tech, same thing. That could be the way the tube ran. They're taking it to town. They're taking it home. What if we're like downloading an interstellar civilization, like the Wombambe, clan that are like giant sentient clams? That's their whole thing is the tube. Like that's their whole thing is built on the tube. That'd be wild. They'd have an unpronounceable name, made out of clam sounds. These guys are serious. Dude, we just ran around that. Return to objective, fall back. Oh, they took it. We ran down the tube. I wasn't paying attention to the map at all. Wasn't paying attention to the map. Unami takes a dirt nap. Okay. It's gonna be fun.
Okay.
Here comes the Vietnam simulator. This is the best level of all games. This is it.
Mobile Aloha.
Mobile Aloha. Yeah, no. It was spooky and then very fun to watch how good that thing was. It was so damn good. And it didn't take that long to train it. And it was it was like cooking shrimp and just folding clothes and just doing all the stuff you would do with your own hands. It'll do. So it's kind of like anything you're doing as a human, it could do. Like pretty much just these tasks. And it wasn't crazy. It was open source. And it wasn't expensive. It was cheap. And it was like off-the-shelf parts. Not even a dedicated skeletal frame. Nothing. Nothing like an Atlas or anything that's like, you know, an integrated system, which would have even more advantages. Or like reaction time and stuff like that. It was slow, but did it. So it's like... And then you got to imagine you're looking at a 1.0. And then you realize the speed of technological change. And it's just like, that's... 6 months away from being like, I can make bullets. Here's how I weigh out the grains. I mean, you got your own weapons manufacturer. Like, let's go. I turned soil into nitrogen, like, or whatever. You know, it's like got all the components of TNT. And if I'm having this thought,
Oh, yeah.
lots of people are having this thought.
Damn.
Dude, we're getting spanked.
Dude, we got swept on that one.
Yep.
Not playing good today.
Dude, this thing just holds still. It just doesn't download. It's tortured. Dude, is that enough? We out this evening? Let's call it. It was really nice hanging out. This was very, very fun.
It was fun.
Very
Do it
fun.
again sometime.
Let's do it again sometime. Dude, have a wonderful evening. See you at Dude Core tomorrow.
Yeah, dude.
Think about commercials we can make. Oh. Dude, talk to you later.
Dude.
See ya.